Hey guys, this is Kidderob speaking, and today we are not in automation, but rather in crowding. And this video is about the translation of automation to, first of all, the core languages which we have implemented so far, or half implemented I should say. And that would be French, German, Polish and Spanish. And as you maybe can see vaguely from the percentages down here, this says 99% complete, 56% complete, Polish is 73% and Spanish 61% complete. There's still quite a lot more to do, and that is where potentially you come in if you want to help us out. And English is now finally completed after I went through all the strings and corrected them, and I hope that now is in pretty good quality. Also kind of ironic that a German bastard is correcting all the English strings. But anyway, so how does this work? Well, you can be invited into this project with a link that you find in the description. And then once you have joined in and you are a mad German person, then just as an example, then you would click on the automation German PO, and you do that here, and then you see that, okay, here we have strings. Well, what is a string, you ask? It's not a string tanga or something like that, but rather it is just a string of words, and that forms a text in the game. It is a delineated text in the game. Some as simple as on. Well, that would be an. An und aus. Ja, an und aus. So, save. Yes, I saved this. And now that I have translated that, I jumped me straight down here to the next string, but that is too long for me to translate right now. So we have an here, and this is a translation by me added a few seconds ago. And you, of course, won't have this button here because I'm in the manager mode. I can do that, but you will be able to vote on existing translations, which you have down here. And you have access to machine translations down here as well, which can often give you a good basis to use and then modify, but you should never really rely on that entirely. The strings that are listed over here are the source strings, the so-called source strings. They are coming from us, and they are supposedly the thing that you need to translate. That is not entirely true though. There's one tricky little bit in here though I need to make absolutely certain you understand, and that is some strings may be somewhat odd or have lots of errors in them, and then you would say like, but Kidderob corrected them. No, he didn't, because these are the source strings which can't be edited once they are well, put into a source file. The only thing we can correct is the translation of these source strings into English, which is a big flaw of this platform. Some other translation platforms have the possibility to make one of the translations the source file, but this platform doesn't. And that is bad. So what you do here is you go to other languages and then check out the English United Kingdom translation, which I proofread, and that should be the correct one. That is the way you double check, and you always should double check if that is actually the case. So also try to keep an eye on the comments on the side here. You can comment on strings if you have questions and stuff, and other translators will help you out, or I will be around if I can, and also do help out in clarifying things and proofreading and whatnot. So yes. Anyway, so this is the actual source string we want you to translate, not this. No, not this one, but not this one necessarily. And for some things, like, let's see, like this one for instance, that is not the correct string, as you see, right? That is not really what we are aiming for. So some of them are just placeholder strings, and if you look here, other languages, look at that! There's an actual description here! Yes, because this is our placeholder string, and this is what you're supposed to translate. So that was just an example of how tricky it can be. So just be vigilant and make sure that you're actually translating the English United Kingdom translation of the source strings and not the source strings directly. In most cases, they are very similar though, so you won't be running into too much complications. So that is how it works, basically. You can get for all the strings that are already translated, there are suggestions down here already for the translation of your language. And you can, by clicking on them, you can make a different version of them, and then you can vote on which version you think is the best one out of the existing ones, so that I will have an easier time going through them and approving them, or someone else who has the role of proofreader. Because there are two different roles. You will be joining as translators, while we get in some others as proofreaders. If possible, we are aiming at completing this to, mostly done until the next big update. And that is another few weeks down the line. And depending on how many people join, that is entirely possible. I remember that it took us about 4 or 5 weeks for a team of 3 or 4 dedicated translators to get through like a whole bunch of this bit here. 23,000 words, that's a lot. So what is in it for you? Unfortunately, we don't have much we can give to you. So this really only just depends on your goodwill in helping us out and potentially bringing the game to more German, Polish, Spanish or French speaking natives living in these countries, or someone who doesn't really speak English, and spread the good word of automation in that way. Well, of course, if your contribution is significant enough, and I can check that here pretty easily if I go to reports, I can see via top members who does the work and how well they are doing it as well. So I will, once a language is translated, update the game credits, well, contact you for your real name and how you want to be represented, or if you want to be represented. And yeah, you will be in the game credits as a translator. But that is probably the only thing we really can offer. Maybe we could have some little giveaways for the top translators as well, who joined the party late and won't be able to get the pre-order bonus of V16s. That would be a nice pull as well. Of course, not comparable to the amount of effort you will be spending, that is for certain, but a nice little bonus on top. Anyway, I hope this makes it somewhat clear. It takes a while to accommodate yourselves with this platform, but it is rather easy and user-friendly to deal with. So yeah, just check it out, join the project, make an account, and start translating the language you are the most familiar with. And yeah, vote on others' translations as well. That would be really helpful to see where to start out for the proofreading. Also, I'm really looking forward to seeing how these graphs look, because these peaks are my doing here with words translated 8,000, 7,000. That was my correction runs, but with many people joining in and actually doing some work, it doesn't have to be a lot per person per day, but if we get rolling, and that is a constant thing that happens each day, the translations will be done sooner rather than later, and I want to bring these down to something that is a few weeks instead of year or more. And with that being said, I hope you join in, and see you guys in the translations.